So today I have a question for you. What is wrong with women? Like, what is wrong with our gender? And I know that if you're a woman, you have heard this over and over again from men in your life, from men around you, from memes, from everywhere. You hear there is a problem with our gender. And then somehow we always want to laugh about it, no, that is not us. That is really humorous. Oh, that is sarcastic. But one thing that I have realized is that there is always some truth to all these memes and all the statements that the world is making about women. And then I decided, I'm like, no. If the whole world, even children, old people, everyone, everywhere is saying that there is something wrong with our gender, then there should be something wrong with our gender. And today, that is what we are going to be discussing. What is wrong with women? So today, I'm in a very amazing place. It is a very beautiful place, especially if you love nature. So we came this side for a training, and as I was taking some evening walk, I said, wait, this would be a very beautiful place to show the people, the amazing people that God has blessed me with. And I decided to do a video from this place so that as I share with you, you're able to have a wonderful view. I know that we have heard these things over and over again, especially from every man. Actually, it's not just your husband or your boyfriend, but it will be your brother, your friends, your colleagues who are always going to complain about women. They're like, we do not understand women. Like, okay, what do you exactly want? What do you exactly need from me? And for me, I don't take that for granted anymore, because if people are complaining, then that means there is something wrong that we are doing that we will need to make right. So the first thing that we are going to talk about that we really need to work on is our communication. Didn't know I had communication problems until I got really close with this guy who is a good communicator. To him, if you're saying hi, it is a hi. If you're smiling, he reads it as a smile. Like, for him, he wants direct communication. And he really helped me to understand how I was communicating like a woman. You're really not direct in your communication. And sometimes we do these things a lot. You want the guy to get you flowers, but somehow you want him to get a hint that you need flowers without you saying it. It's like how we always say, tell me something without you telling me something. Tell me you like this thing without you telling me that you like this thing. Most of the men want you to directly tell them. Like this meme always says, if you want to talk to me directly. Don't go through the corners. Do not go through the corners and send signals, because those signals are really not going to be picked. They won't make any sense. So if you need anything, communicate. If you want to go out on a date, please tell this guy, I want you to take me on a date. Because to them, maybe they've never actually thought about it. It doesn't make sense to them. If you want flowers, tell them, I want you to buy me flowers. I actually like flowers. In that way, they will know what you need. They will understand your needs and your interests, and then they'll be able to do things for you. They will be able to come and meet you at your points of need. So what we really need to work on is our communication, because the indirect communication really does not make sense to these guys. And then the other thing that we do is expecting men to understand our thoughts. Yeah? It is really funny that sometimes you're really, really angry with this guy. They've done something. You're angry. You're boiling. But for them, they are not picking it. And that even makes you more angry, because you're angry and they are not understanding that you are angry. Like, how does that work? But one thing that we need to understand is that men are not God. They don't read minds. And for them, it is really different, because they are different from us, for crying out loud. So Maybe for a woman, they would actually easily read your mind. But for a man to read your mind, it is like almost impossible. So we want them to understand our thoughts and come to our aid. And yet the best thing to do is to tell them if he has angered you, if he has pissed you off, just tell him, you angered me when you said this, without you throwing tantrums and getting more angry and piling up, dates of all the things that they've done. And then before you know it, you're telling them, the other time you did this, the other time you did this, the other time I was angry but you didn't see it, I was not feeling well and you couldn't see, you didn't say sorry. Like, how? To them, it really didn't occur to them that there are things that you are thinking. So what we really need to work on still is our communication. If someone has angered you, please don't expect them to read through your brain, like go into your mind and know that you're angry. No, you need to tell them and communicate through any issues or any challenges or any idea or anything that you need to address. So many times a guy is going to ask you, are you okay? Like they've seen maybe you're not talking well, or you're moody, or you're quiet, and then they'll ask you, are you okay? And you're like, no, I'm okay. And for them, they continue with their jazz. And then it angers, you're like, couldn't he tell that I'm not okay? How come he continued? Like, how come he didn't ask more probing questions? But you just said you're okay, so what else do you want them to do? So if you're not okay, please say it. Tell them, I'm not okay. If you're okay, say it. If you're angry, say it. You will be in a heated argument, and the guy is going to ask you, are you angry? And you're like, no, I'm not angry. And for them, it will mean that you are not angry. But then you're more angry that they actually thought you're okay. Like, it is really interesting how we think. And let me tell you something. I didn't know this was a problem until I saw it on someone's status, WhatsApp status. I saw a meme about how if a woman tells you that they are okay when you're having an argument, or that things are really not clear between you, and they tell you I'm fine, just run for your life, because they actually are about to kill you. Like, whoa, so this is how we do things. We say yes, and it is not a yes, it is actually a no. And sometimes actually we do these things so often that we tell men, I don't need a birthday gift, or no, it's okay, Valentine's, I don't really celebrate Valentine's. And yet you really know that your birthday is a big deal. You know that Valentine's is a big deal to you. So if you want that man to celebrate you, don't lie to him and you expect him to somehow know that actually your no to a birthday gift meant a yes. No, just tell them the truth. Let your yes be a yes and your no a no. And I am okay, let it be an I'm okay. And I'm not okay, you say it. So that these guys can understand how you are and how to deal with you. And sometimes when someone asks you, are you okay? And when it's very, very obvious there is something bothering you, it really doesn't feel good on their side. They feel shut out. They feel like you don't trust them. You're really not letting them in. And they're wondering, okay, what have I done to this person? I really want to help. I want to fix something. I want to fix this and really offer my help. But they are not letting me in. All they are telling me is that they are okay, when in actual sense, from your actions, from your behavior, from the way you talk, your tone, your mood, your everything around you, it is screaming, this lady is not fine. But the only thing you're saying is, I'm okay. So ladies, let us let these guys in. If you're not okay, if something is bothering you, if you want anything, you want help from them, actually ask it. Sometimes I'm very angry, like not really angry, but you're maybe depressed and you're stressed about something, and friends will come to me, this guy will come and ask, so Edith, are you okay? And I'll be like, no, I'm fine. and then I'm really bad and life is really not shifting. And many times this person is going to laugh at me. They will laugh, and I get it. If you want my help, tell me. Tell me I'm not okay. I need your help here, and I'm going to help. And sometimes it's like they have everything you need right there, but they are waiting for you to own it and say, well, I'm not fine. I need your help here. So we really need to let men in our lives. And I'm not just talking about relationships. I'm talking about our own friends. Let us let them in and let us allow them to help us. If we are not fine, let's say that. If we are okay, it's okay. But if you need this person to come through for you, please make it clear for them. And so, the other thing that we do wrong is our emotional roller coasters that never stop. Like all the time, your mood is going to change and it's unpredictable, and these guys just do not know what to do. You know, sometimes we be having like a conversation. Let's say if you're with your boyfriend or your husband, you're having a conversation with them, and before you know it, things have escalated, and you're angry and you're raising your voice. And somehow we have a very amazing talent of stretching conversations. We will stretch a conversation where I'm talking to myself, a conversation that was supposed to end in 1 minute. It takes 5 days when you're still talking about this thing. And sometimes they just do not know how to deal with us, because right now I'll be smiling, we'll be talking about an amazing topic, and before you know it, the mood has changed, the tone has changed, and we are now quarreling. You're ghosting the person, you're giving them a silent treatment, and they are wondering, okay, now what did I say? And then they will start walking on eggshells, because they don't know when to expect you to be angry, or you're just unpredictable. And yet, by the way, with character, a person with a character, good character, is predictable. So if you're not predictable, then people are going to be confused and they will not know how to handle you. Then the other thing that we do so well is overthinking and reading into things. My dear sisters, hey, I think this is another talent, another amazing gift that we have. We can read into situations, we can read into conversations, we can overthink situation. You see that guy smiling on their phone and you're like, they are talking with their ex. Why is he smiling? And how come he's smiling on his phone and not paying attention to me? So to us, anything, even sleeping, I believe you've seen these memes there. For me, they always help me to analyze myself. You've seen these memes of when a man is sleeping and the lady is just looking at him and she's like, he must be thinking about his ex or his side chick. And kumbe, the guy has an empty brain. At that moment, they are not even thinking about anything, or they are only thinking about football or something. So we really need to stop overthinking things, because for men, they take things at their face value many times, and they really don't understand why we have to overthink and overanalyze things or think beyond what meets the eye. So really, the whole overthinking thing. And if you have any doubts, or if you have any problem, if you have anything that you need clarity on, like we've said, just ask the person, let them clarify. But this whole thing of overthinking things and overanalyzing, being too critical and wanting to dig deeper, how, when, how, which person did you greet, which person, so that girl, your workmate, why is she calling you at this time? I saw how she smiled. Like, you start connecting dots and creating dots that are actually not even there. That is going to stress you in your relationship. You will get trust issues, you will be insecure, and before you know it, you are stressing this person out and they just do not know how to deal with you. So this can really be dangerous to any relationship you have with a man, when you start overthinking and criticizing and analyzing everything that they are doing. And the other thing is obsession with social media validation. I really don't know where this thing came from, and thank God this one I'm not really struggling with it. But the fact that we are too obsessed with social media validation. You post a photo on social media, on WhatsApp or on Instagram, and you expect your boyfriend or your male friends to look at them and give them hearts and comment how amazing and stunning and cute you look like. But to men, that doesn't actually make sense, especially in personal relationships. And one thing that I'm learning is that if you want that guy to really look at how amazing you are in this photo, please just send that photo to them directly in their inbox. Send it to them and let them comment from there. But if you're looking for validation from social media, from your status and all that, that is really not going to work for you, because they really don't understand how that makes sense. And the other thing that we love doing is testing men, playing mind games with these guys. It's so unfortunate, by the way, the things that we do and put men through and expect them to act like angels. We expect them to act like gods. It is really unfair from our side sometimes, because imagine you want to test this guy's love, you want to test their patience, you want to test their calmness, and you do things just to see how they react. I think it is so unfair and so bad. And many times we do this because I've seen women do these things of, okay, let me do this and I see how he reacts. There is a Nigerian movie that I watched when we were growing up called Games Women Play, and this lady, she sent her girlfriend, like a female friend, to the guy, to her boyfriend, to see how he reacts, to see if the boyfriend is going to fall in love with this lady. Well, it ended in tears because the boyfriend fell in love with the friend and they dumped her. So these games, sometimes they really are against us. And I think when the person finds out that you are testing them, and because we are already angry and pissed, you will say it, actually I was doing it to test you, and now I see the way you reacted, you don't love me. And they will even be more frustrated to find out that you are using their natural reaction to something in a bad way. You are taking it for granted because, well, if you shout at them, they would maybe want to shout back. They will not even be aware that you're playing your games, because if they were, then they would play along. But for them, they are reacting naturally, and for you, you're playing games. Please, that is really, really not good. There has to be transparency. We need to be transparent in our relationships. If you want to deal with something and address something in your relationship, please sit down and talk about these things, rather than you playing mind games that will end up really frustrating you, frustrating your friend or your boyfriend or your husband. Really, that is really not worth it. The other thing is changing our minds all the time, being indecisive. I was going to buy a few things with a friend, a male friend, and another person was waiting for us in the parking lot. So we went and were, buying a number of things. So we reached on the packs of nuts, so ground nuts. So we pick a big pack of ground nuts, and then I reached like a few meters away, and I changed my mind. So I changed my mind. So I paused and went back and put back the big pack and picked 2 small packs, and then stood there for a few seconds and then dropped them and picked the big pack again. This guy just laughed and said, "Women." And I'm like, now what have I done? But then I realized I was being indecisive. Like, they are all nuts. If you've picked the big one, it is okay. If you've picked the small one, it is okay. They are all nuts. So ladies, if you are dealing with a man, please try so hard to be decisive. It is okay if you're with your girlfriends. You can take the whole day to decide on which dress to put on. You can take a whole month to decide on which shoe to buy. But if a man is involved, try to be decisive. But also, if you can't be too decisive, try to understand that it actually stresses them, so that in case he's stressed, you don't start to throw tantrums and tell him how impatient he is, because for them, decision making should be way easier. It is maybe easier for them. For us, it might take a while, but when you're dealing with them, please try to understand and try to make up your mind a little bit quickly, because it will end up stressing them. And lastly is trying to defend ourselves all the time. You see, men are going to say women. Now, like when my friend said women, I would have defended myself. I'm like, you see, for you guys, you don't know how to shop. You shop quickly and impulse and all those things. But you see, I had to pause and understand that, well, when I'm shopping again with this guy or any other man, I need to be decisive. If I don't know if they are G-nuts, I'll just pick G-nuts and really hope that they are better or good. Or I'm going to do my research prior and know, well, if I'm going to see this kind of person, grapes are better than apples. I'll do my research prior so that I can make decisions a little bit quicker when I'm with them. So the whole bit of us trying to defend our gender all the time, it really does not help us, because if they are complaining or if they are talking about these things that are not making them happy, the least we can do is to try and improve and work on those things. So instead of you defending yourself and trying to, tell him how he's not understanding or how he has to understand you, the least you can do is to see how to improve, at least for their sake, so that there is peace in your relationship. And I think we want to do unto others as we would want them to do unto us. So if you want this man to be understanding, how come for you don't want to understand them? So I think we have to just be lenient enough to know that, well, if they really find our indecisiveness a bit awkward, then let me improve on it. If they find my obsession with social media is funny, let me work on it so that there is peace and unity and more love and joy in our relationships. Guys, thank you so much. I've really had an amazing time sharing these things with you. If you're a gentleman here, please tell me, share in the comment section some of the things that we need to work on as ladies, some of the wrongs we need to make right as women. And for ladies, what are you doing to represent our gender in a better way? Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye.